but it's no longer fulfilling, and they may be like me, 53. I am not afraid to do something new. I didn't start real estate until I was 49. And so that was a whole new realm for me. It was scary, but I did it. And today I'm like, thank God I did that. Because, I mean, I can't see myself in any other space right now where I can affect so many people. And so it may not be real estate for you, but if you've been doing something for a extremely long time and it's time to transition, I just say seek God on what that looks like for you and go for it. I'm telling you, it will definitely pay off for you.
Yeah, I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Shameless plug, but if you are struggling like that, we do that work at Create Connect Collab. We have members who are 18 to 66. My mother's a member, and she had a tough life, and now she has her degree, she's doing social media work, and just to see that transition in her life and how we impact our members. So if you're struggling, you don't have to do that alone. You can come and be in a supportive community, and our membership is very affordable because I'm not here to make a profit, I'm here to pour into other people.
I'm a witness, Create Connect Collab ambassador. Don't forget an ebook that I wrote, so.
Amen.
Awesome. You know, it really is about helping others and really being there for them. I'll even share with you, I was on the air for such a long time, and many of the things that I was trying to bring to the table were knocked down, right? Not in this market, because I'm really well recorded. But there was a day that I had explained to my director who Susan L. Taylor was and the benefit of having her on my show.
Wow.
And that was a pivotal moment for me because I was like, okay, so we focus on 40-year-olds, Black women, single moms. That's our avatar. We call her Renee. She picks up Essence every month. She reads In the Spirit every month. She's encouraged and inspired by In the Spirit. How many here have read In the Spirit? Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was like, I have to get in a role to where I can make change for my women, for my people. Because if this interview is being denied, then that's a problem because she has something to say that's going to connect with women who we talk to each and every day. I was able to negotiate getting it on, but that was just a moment where something has to change. I need to get into management and made that transition so that I can help other talent in developing concepts and create content on air and online that speaks to them to help them connect with listeners to garnish ratings and revenue, because that's why we're here, but also to make an impact. So you just really have to go for it. And if you feel something in your heart and you're struggling with it, but you know it's right, you have to go for it and seek those that will help you, like a startup. Or if someone approaches you, you may not know them that well, be open to helping them. Be open to mentor them. Be open to assist them to help them get to their next, because you helping them is going to help you as well. Just makes the light shine brighter on everyone.
And journal. Make sure you guys journal. I really didn't understand earlier before I went into the major transition, the power of journaling. And to be able to do that and just pour out your heart on paper and then allow the Holy Spirit to really work with you as to your steps, and then to go back and to be able to look at where you were and how you went through. There is power to be.
I wanted to add something too, I'm sorry. Thinking about transitioning, you sharing your story too, and for those that are maybe in their career and their journey, I was working for an employer, and at the time I was asking why I wasn't getting promoted, and they came back and said, well, there's these competencies, and I was a high performer, high potential, and as I'm on the call, I'm like, we've never discussed this. I know that I'm adding value. And in that moment, I got on LinkedIn and I opened my LinkedIn up and let employers know that I was open. And cause I'm like, I'm doing this for clients. Like, I gotta do this for myself. And so I opened my LinkedIn up and I literally got hit up by 4 employers within 3 days. And one of them ended up being my next employer. And so going back to what God, knowing who you are and whose you are, I was like, everyone had kept telling me it's time for you to move on, it's time for you to move on. But I had to realize in that moment that I wasn't feeling valued, that it was time for me to transition. And I'm grateful because that next employer made me feel valued. I felt seen, I felt heard, and I felt like a subject matter expert, which I was doing at my other employer, but I had to transition to a space kind of what Tamiko said, where I was empowered and where people were able to see the work that I was doing and I'm servicing others. So I just want to encourage you that if you are in a space where you're trying to think of whether you're looking for a job opportunity, starting a business, that go for it. Someone will value you, someone will see that, and it's important to be in a space that you do feel that way. And sometimes it doesn't happen overnight, it is a transition, but you'll recognize that in the moment. So I just want to encourage you all in that space.
Being good for the hallways isn't always on a job evaluation, right? But it's also part of your personal brand. So just walking in your purpose is valuable and important, and speaking up. Because sometimes we just don't want to speak up, or we don't feel comfortable speaking up. So having that courage to speak up for yourself and self-advocate is important, because everybody wants to know what's my next in this role, or what's my next in this life, or what's my next with this employer. And sometimes in that conversation, you find out your next isn't there, and it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. So as we wrap this portion, because we're going to go into our Q&A, so I hope you guys have questions. If you could describe your brand in one word.
Authentic.
I would say empowering. You know, one thing I try to do that personally and professionally is empower others to know that they can do whatever they put their mind to, and that's what my word would be, empower.
Yeah. Mine was empower. I'm gonna go empower as well. I empower my clients. I empower my community, my children, my husband. Anybody talks to them, I'm gonna encourage you. You can do anything. I'm your girl.
I would say my word would be relatability. That's what I really want my brand to be. I want people to feel like they know me and they can see themselves in me, and they can see their daughters in me. And yeah, that's
Awesome. Well, thank you to our pretty positive panel. And of course, QR code here on the flyer to connect with everyone. Everyone's bio is there, so you connect, collab, and create. Use your word, Starla. But are there any questions in the audience? Is there anything you would like to ask, especially on birth?
Just a really quick question. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for participating in this panel, because it has been enlightening for me. I'm born in the 60s, right? I'll be 55 this year. So I'm excited in terms of how people are rebranding. Right, I want to say to you, you're inspirational. Like, I am not great in terms of social media, but I have an IG account, and I see all these people, and I'm like, how do they become brand ambassadors? And so I'm just fascinated in your process, Lauren. How did you become a brand ambassador? Because I don't know how to do that. It's products I like, pay me to like me.
So yeah, I grew up on YouTube, watching the girls, beauty girls, and I've always wanted to do that, and was for years tried and was scared, or would not be trying to film something when my roommate wasn't in the room, and then be scared to edit it and all of those things. And then finally during COVID was able to, not even during COVID, last year, I guess that's COVID. Last year was able to like really think about what I wanted to do and what I was interested in. And it has always been beauty, fashion, hair, just the beauty realm. So I just started making videos. I don't know, I hope this is answering your question. Just started making videos in my room, doing my hair, talking while I'm doing my hair, talking to myself essentially, and recording it, getting dressed, coming to AKA events, just anything that I was doing personally. I was showing, living with my parents, paying off my student loans, every aspect of my life, kind of like what they were saying with, I took a picture of myself and I did stems of things that were going on in my life, my relationship and everything, and I just dedicated a video a week to one of those things. And now that has obviously shifted, but that's how I started. And some videos, just different, people are fascinated with AKA, people are fascinated with hairstyle, just things that have blown up further than what I could have thought that they were going to. Like I told my mom this, my goal last year was to hit 5,000 followers for the year. I don't even know.
Tell them where you at there.
63,000 followers. Essentially, I was making videos about things that I was already doing. Like, nothing has really changed for me in terms of what I'm doing. I'm just recording everything, and that has turned into, oh, you like our brand. People are asking you questions. People like that you like our brand. They're listening to you because you're telling them that this product sucks, or that you love this and why you love it. And so now I'm getting paid to do something that I was already doing, and navigating the transition of loving my job. I love my full-time job, but also seeing that there are more opportunities in this space and what that could look like and what that will look like, and that'll be another transition that happens probably this year. But yeah, I just took what I was already doing.
Well, you know, you're my youthful inspiration. And stand on your goals and your truth, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I do want to chime in and kind of give Create Connect Collab a kind of shout out too about personal branding. So one of the things they do offer, workshops, and one of the workshops they talk about personal branding and help their actual members understand what that looks like. We learned about media kits, so that allowed us to understand how to really brand ourselves, because often when you're pitching for some of these brands, they want to see some of the work you've done before, and so a professional media kit allows them to see that. Another thing, Starla's a great resource too as well. Influencer was an app that she shared with me, and I got on that app, and so that allowed me to learn about brands, learn about the things I'm interested in, and so they would send different things and say, hey, would you like to sample this product? So then that allowed me to say that I work with global brands, and that's one of the starts that Starla kind of shared and Create Connect Collab of really starting that opportunity. And like Mariah said, sharing with them like things you're passionate about, and not being afraid to ask, hey, do you have an ambassador program? My son, he goes to Octopods for swimming, and I pitched to them because there's a very high rate of Black boys and Black children that die from drowning. And so he's an ambassador for them, and he's had that relationship and been able to have that partnership. So if there's something you're interested in, you know, that there's a product or a service, maybe even reaching out to them to see that, because a lot of times they are looking for that, and using your superpower as a Black girl, as a Black woman. Think about the brands that you shop with. Do you see yourself? Like Mariah said, there's some brands she's like, I don't see myself, but maybe you could be the step of helping people see themselves there too. So think about it from that perspective, because there's lots of opportunities for you to do that. But I wanted to shout out Create Connect Collab because they do have different workshops that they do offer to help people that are trying to become brand ambassadors or engage with brands.
And also knowing your value.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Many brands that, okay, Mariah, you showcasing your product. We all see it. We buy it because we trust Mariah.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The brand trusts you. And through the brand trusting you, you need to make sure that check clears and it has a couple more zeros. Because the product that they have purchased from you has gone up. They have increased,
Yes.
right? So as they increase, you increase.
And it's hard being an ambassador. Like, there's a lot of times where they do not value you. You have to advocate for yourself. And I think it's really important to have that community talk. And like, how much did you get for this? Okay, yeah. So even though there's Create Connect Lab, there's also Indie Creator Society. It's a free program on Facebook. It's a community. There's an event that's coming up at IKEA. So if you want to tap into that, no matter how young or old you are, you can be a brand ambassador. It's all about putting your work out there, hitting that publish button, and sending it out there.
Any other questions?
Can Kristen share, what was that app again that she referenced?
Influencer? Is that what
It's Influencer, it's
Yeah.
free. You
Yes.
sign up, you do surveys, they'll send you free products, and what I told Kristen is, use that to show them that you're working with these heavy-hitting brands. I work with Shea Moisture on there, and I ended up becoming brand ambassador of the year with Shea Moisture back in 2015, I don't know what that was. But yeah, but they flew me out to New York, and it was a great experience, and so tap into Influencer, it's a free app, you do surveys, they send you products, and you can start building up your resume as an influencer. Or brand ambassador, content creator, whatever term you like.
Here. So I have a statement and a question. My statement is one I want to thank, I'm not sure who chose to come in this area, but I am extremely grateful that this event has been held here. I am 4 minutes from here and I am in the community. But it's not often that you see these type of events where I'm looking at a reflection, I'm in a mirror looking at individuals speaking to me about me who look just like me and encounter situations that I've encountered. And I'm telling you, that's major. You're surrounded by schools, small kids of all ages, and I can promise you, I've lived over here for 13 years. I'm not from here, but my husband is. And I can't think of one event that has been like this close to me in 46218. So I just want to shout the organization out. My question is, each of you talked about seasons, and in my mind, I count that as moments. I would love to hear, what is your self-talk? When you have those moments or those seasons where, you're taking a dive and it's, and it may not be public, maybe those moments where you're in the privacy of your own home and you're encountering something that's like, man, I have a gig tomorrow or I have a gig in an hour and I gotta get myself together. What is your self-talk to get you back, where you need to be? And I get that, and maybe I just gotta walk and do it, but there's something that happens in that moment. What, I would love to hear what you encountered and what you said yourself.
I can talk about that, because that happened this morning. and I'm the transparent self-talk, okay? So this is my, basically, first event that I've done since my father passed away last month. And I knew that on the calendar. I explained that to Joy. This is going to be the first one. I woke up this morning and I was just like, okay, in front of people. We haven't done that in a little while. Do you want to? But it was saying to myself, Karen, you got this. You do this. This is what he would have wanted. And it was such a beautiful day looking out of my window that I sat there and I prayed and I meditated for a little while just to give myself the energy to get up and get dressed. And then my husband's coming in. It's 8 o'clock. I was like, I know, I have to work at 9 and then have an event at 10 o'clock. But it's just really taking those moments with myself and talking myself through it. And saying that I have it. And God loves you. And you're here for a reason. And you're going to share your knowledge and your confidence with others. And also develop a panel and assist to where those that are sitting on the panel, that they shine. That they're able to work through whatever they went through this morning. Because I'm sure many of us felt like getting up this morning, like it's kind of tough, right? But even in those moments where you don't feel like you can do it, you tap into your why and why you're doing it. And your why will always seek you through. So it was my why, just my why, my thought process of you got this, and continuing to say it to yourself over and over and over again.
I feel like I kind of nailed the self-talk up, or like I've got it down, just in terms of like being someone who works a 9 to 5 and then has to get off and put on makeup every day and do videos for like, and then edit them and till like 2 in the morning and then go to my job again. But I really, for me personally, the way that I think about it is my 16-year-old self, and I say this all the time when things are happening to me, my 16-year-old self would be so happy about my 24-year-old self. And so I just think about, I just always think about like in the future, with my 30-year-old self, what do I want that? Would she be happy, and what would that take to be there, I guess? Like, I want my 30-year-old self to be happy about what my 24-year-old self is doing. And I want to be able to look back at what I'm doing, and even if it is like a down period, if I were to stop now, my 30-year-old self would be like, ooh, you should have kept going. You could have did more, and you should have. And I feel like I'm just a futuristic person, so that's the way I think. I think in terms of the future. But I feel like that's what me personally is.
Yeah, so there's something that we learned in Create Connect Lab by DJ Henry, she's an amazing filmmaker here local, about getting tapping into your sparkle state, right? So you have like a routine that gets you ready, and so for me, I knew today was gonna be a busy day because my husband's out of town, I got 2 kids, they're in 2 different places, I had to tap into my community, my resources, my mother and my mother-in-law, And then I had a class to host today too, which 2 people just texted me, they're not gonna make it, so I'm like, thank you. I'm on a panel, I can't handle that right now. Quick text, but to get in my sparkle state, so one, I tap into prayer, gospel music, that's my thing. I like to get cute, dolled up, that brings me sparkle, have my nails. And so I do the routines that get me ready and that self-talk. You were made for this, you got this, you do this. That's all the things that I say, those affirmations that help you like keep your mojo up.
I kind of wanted to, I'm not gonna get emotional, but Karen, I think about that sometimes we think about that we're guaranteed a moment, we're guaranteed a second, we're guaranteed a day. And so I've experienced different losses in my life, and I always remember that I'm not guaranteed that I'll be able to do this tomorrow, right? And so I have to remember, is this something that aligns with my passion, my core values? And it's okay sometimes though if you don't want to do something. I think that's also something we have to discuss too. It's okay, but for me, similar to, I feel like this week was just a week, okay? Because I experienced a lot this week as well, from having to take my husband to the ER, to my son, balancing that, work, have a big project next week, and so I just had to remember that this, like when I knew the audience that was gonna be here, I knew that there was wisdom that could be given that has been shared with me. And sometimes things are bigger than us. You have to remember that, right? And I always remember, like, I talk to God, because like you said, I spend time with God, I dance around the house with my gospel music and just get myself together, like, God, this is my purpose, this is my reason, this is my why. And guide me. If I'm supposed to move, I'm gonna move. And he said move. And so although I was running late because I got a toddler, and you know how they do, they on their own schedule, I was like, there's a purpose. And then I spent time in the car before I came in and was like, Kristen, you got this. This is gonna be great. This is for others, and this is bigger than you. So I just remind you to always remember your purpose, which you already do. You know, you've touched my life through your gift that you've had in the past. So I just want to remind you of that and just continue to do that and continue to encourage others because you do that with the walk that you do, Chandra. So thank you for that.
And I just want to say quickly, I think for me, I'm a sensitive person. It's like what I see, what I hear, what I smell, all of that stuff. So I think intentionally putting yourself in a position to whatever is important to you, you're able to experience that in that moment. But I'm also a big faith person, and I know that everything is bigger than me. And I know that I tell myself, I got this because God's got me. Like, his track record with me is 100. And so that is really the key for me because I just know that it's so much bigger than me. So that's it. Any other questions?
I was just going to ask, and I think this may be a little bit relatable for our pearls. If anyone in the room doesn't know who our pearls are, these are our 6th, 7th, 8th grade young ladies participating in a mentoring program that we've been doing for Line, our Youth Leadership Institute. These are young ladies that we mentor in the community, and specifically around things like leadership development, and just being better people. So I just wanted to make sure you throw that out a lot, so it may not help. But one of the things I did want to ask, as we talk about personal branding, sometimes that has to do with who we're around, who we connect with, relate to, and just wondering as you have grown and transitioned, had different seasons, have you had to shed certain people or certain things from your life? And how have you gone about doing that? Sometimes that's tough, you know, where you have to share a relationship or share a certain thing that is holding you down for your potential in your brain.
That is huge. That has a major impact because what you experience around you is where you're going. And I've had to do that. And it's sad sometimes you have to even tailor or monitor your time with your family sometimes because of the negativity or disbelief or things like that. I think just being intentional, understanding that people may not understand why they can't be as close to you as they were. So in all that you do it in love, right? But still make sure that you understand your value enough to put up those perimeters and those boundaries, right? It's very, very necessary. I've got to a point in my life is where if I don't feel peace when I'm in your presence, then it's just a wrap for me. Honestly, I'm 53 now, so life is way too short. Either we gonna be good, like I wanna laugh, I wanna enjoy it, and I know that, like I said, things happen that we don't expect. But if I have any control over it, listen, we're gonna be at peace, we're gonna enjoy. But if that's not it, then we can't.
Yeah, I think it's so so important for the young ladies and the young people in the room to know, like Tamiko said, that energy. You know, I just had a conversation with my daughter recently, like, you knew that was wrong. And you need to know when that person is not good for you and to avoid that. So you have to operate, this is how I operate in a peaceful bubble. My time and my peace, you can't mess with it, because I have to have those boundaries. So create a peaceful bubble. When you interact with young women and girls, you start making new friends. If you got a vibe like, she might be a bad girl, that is not with my brand, that's not on brand, be mindful of that. You don't have to cut her off right back. When you see those signs, be mindful. She's telling you to do something that you know you don't need to do, she ain't for you. So just be mindful that you go through life, because people are going to try to bring you down, and we don't have time for that. No, sorry.
I would say too, and cultivate those relationships of those women and young ladies that are around you that are pouring into you and reciprocate that, right? Sometimes we can be the one taking a lot. So be mindful of that, of how you're pouring into others just as much as they're pouring into you, whether that's your friends, your parents, your mentors, or those that are around you. Just be mindful of that. And also, don't be afraid to make new friends and develop new relationships. I have friends, I'd say my tribes are very unique, because I have friends I have from high school to now I have friends that I've developed through my sisterhood as well as colleagues. So I would say be mindful of knowing that you don't just have to have the same circle that you've been around all the time. Be open to meeting new people, especially in this program. I think of the programs I did when I was in high school and middle school and how those relationships impacted me, and some of those friendships I still have to this day. So I would just encourage you to also be able to meet new people. Don't think that because you have the set of friends that you have now, that you can't meet new people in your life.
This is a conversation my mom and I have been having for a while lately. Just because content creating, influencing is a very outwardly celebrated thing when you don't see that I just spent 3 hours editing a video that took me 10 hours to make. And it's like, oh, I did that great video. And it's just friends that have come out of the woodworks about brand trips and helping with TikTok. People I just haven't talked to in a long time, or you're just not going to the same places. Or if we are, we're not going the same route to get to those places. And that is a conversation that there are conversations that I have heard with people and friends that I've known for decades that I can't afford, what I'm working towards, I can't afford to have you around me. And it's a hard conversation for me, and I'm sure it would be a hard conversation when we have it, but it's just, like I'm just saying it as something I'm going through. I don't really have the answer at this current time, but I'm being transparent in the fact that I have the vision for my life, and you are currently not in that vision. And it's hard to see someone or people that I've grown up with, and I know that you cannot go around home. At least not with me.
I have a question, especially, I want this to be addressed to the co-roles. Mariah, with what you do, you don't have customers or clients. So with these girls, they're on social media, they post, how do you keep yourself safe without putting your address out there, without putting all this stuff out there, because you're not in a controlled environment where you know who you're working with.
Yeah.
So I'm really big on that. So if I see something suspect on Instagram, I'll tap into his DMs. I've done it before. Sorry to call you out, sis. But even to my clients, I'm like, Ivana, don't post that in your stories because that's not safe. You know, definitely back to school time. You're excited, your kids are on the school bus. Don't show that address. Don't show where you live. So you have to be safe. You know, even when you leave an event. When I go to a lot of influence events, I won't post them after I leave that event because I don't need no one to know I'm up there. They'll come up and try to get me. You know, but so that's really important. So you want to be mindful what you post in your surroundings, and so just be careful with that.
I was going to echo that, yes, especially just being mindful of what you post and where you're at in the location, like just being mindful, because there are sick people out there, unfortunately, that pray after women, young girls. So it's, when your parents are telling you that, like, be mindful, they're not really trying to be a hater. They're really trying to protect you. So I just want to let you know that sometimes we don't realize what our parents are doing, but they're doing it for a reason. It's just when you're on social media, people tap in ways that are just very big and very unfortunate.
Yeah, I would say social boundaries. Be mindful of anyone connecting with you in your DMs or your messages, trying to learn more about you, asking what school you go to, trying to break down the barriers of getting to know you and where you are and anything personal. One thing that I say about social media is your personal life is your personal life. You share slices of life, but you do it in a way to where it's not intrusive of your life. So what I mean by that is, if you're taking a picture with your friends at school, you wear a uniform, that's not the best time to take a picture because that's the logo right here where you go to school. Just be mindful of what you have on you, where you are, and how you're posting. And it's okay to connect with people. Just be mindful of how they're trying to connect with you. And if you ever have a question about someone trying to connect with you online, go to your parents. Ask them, hey, this person keeps coming to my DMs and asking me questions. And if it doesn't make you feel comfortable, tell your parents. And then there's also block. It's okay to block.
One more question?
Sorry, I do have a quick question about balancing your brand. So Mariah spoke of being able to edit and video for hours at a time. So how, and Tamiko talked about investing back into your brand. So how do you balance the content creation, the investing into the brand itself, plus your daily life of having to go to work, plus the product itself you're trying to promote? So for me, my business is catered, right? So I still have to take pictures of every piece of cheese that I cut, every piece of meat that I cut, and the process along the way. So any tips for balancing that process?
Yeah, I feel like for this one, y'all are just asking a lot of questions that my mom and I can talk about. I feel like I've been recently showing up as a bad friend to some of my friends because I don't have the time at this current time, but also knowing for myself that for my 9 to 5, I'm a project manager at heart. I need things to be, we're hanging out from this time to this time, we're doing this. If I'm gonna film this video, I'm gonna edit it this time, it's gonna post on this day, like I have a calendar. For me, it's being organized. Like if my room isn't organized, I can't think. If the closet isn't organized, I can't get anything. Everything just has to be, and maybe that's just being an OCD, but for me personally, everything has to be aligned. I need to know, okay, 10 to 12, 12 to 2, what I'm doing, and I don't know how to balance it. Also, I don't have kids, I don't have a spouse, I don't have bills. It's a lot easier.
Like, we don't need her information. She's not living.
So you want to talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So like batching content, I don't know how this would work for catering. So I sometimes will just knock off days, and honestly, my 9 to 5 is not a 9 to 5. It is more of a 10 to 2 time frame for me personally.
Whenever you show up.
Because I show up when I work from home, so 10 to 2 are the hours.
What's your child?
I do a thing where like you said, batch content. I guess this is, there are days where I literally just spend the whole day filming. I would film 10 videos, and it'll look like they're different days. Because I switch my hairstyle, I like one video, switch my outfit, film them at different times, so the lighting looks different. And I'm posting those videos. I have videos for the next 2 weeks. I'm leaving to go to California on Monday. It's gonna look like I was at home that entire time. And I just plan that, and I think some things you have to sacrifice. Like I said, I've been sacrificing hanging out with my friends, hanging out with my family, to do this. But I mean, it works for me, and I think it is helping me to the desired end goal I want. But that's just in terms of like content. I don't know about like,
For business.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I can talk.
yeah, a little bit.
So I balance a lot, you know, I'm a wife, mother of two, I have 2 businesses, and I'm assigned with an agency in Chicago for modeling and talent, and so what I do is I have a Google Calendar, it looks crazy, but this is my core. And so it looks like this, and I tap everything down. So what I do is I have days for work time. So whenever I know I have to do something, that's scheduled. So like Mariah said, right? So I've scheduled the work that's day. I do batch capture, but that's not every day. So that might be one Monday out the week. So I think it's important to have themed days. So I know on Thursdays, I'm working on everything for CCC. On Mondays or Fridays, I'm doing some things for AKA. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I'm doing my client work. So I think it's important to have your days themed. And when I was working a 9 to 5, what did that look like, right? So that means my lunch hour, I'm working on a blog post during that time, right? On Mondays, on Tuesdays, I'm gonna edit it on right during my lunch hour. So just think about how you can implement little steps to reach your goal.
Okay, so I would say also remember to also not just strive for perfection, but strive for excellence. So sometimes, you know, when you're doing content, especially cutting the meat perfect and making sure everything's perfection, make sure you're just striving for excellence, because sometimes we're harder on ourselves with content, and then we'll throw something away, like forget it, I'm done with it. Just encourage yourself in that way, and from a balance standpoint, because I'm a blend of corporate America as well as owning my own business and be working with brands as well, I give myself grace, and I understand that everything doesn't have to be perfect, and sometimes I may have to fall back on a certain area and be okay with that. The other thing is having boundaries within my week. So like I won't go to more than 2 things outside of work a week. And I have to make sure that my priorities are my priorities for me, like my husband and my son. They have to know they come first. And sometimes they may have to come second when I have a busy week like next week. But just not making that consistency. So I would say having boundaries within your week so that you don't feel overwhelmed and get burnt out is really important too. And having time for yourself, because if you're not good for yourself, then you're not going to be good for no one else. So I just would encourage you to also think about that from a balance standpoint.
One thing that I share with my talent that I can share with you is social media is a facade. It's real time to everyone else, but don't look it to yourself as it's in real time. Plan out your day. So if there's a video that you're recording and you want to post it, but from that one video, you can actually make 3 or 4 of them, then go ahead and do that. Edit it up, batch it up, but then schedule it so you don't forget about it. Because now on, Facebook, you can already schedule posts. But did you know on Instagram, you can schedule posts now too, which is awesome. So now you can have different posts releasing at different times to where now for a couple of days, you're like, I haven't really posted. Now I can move on to something else. So have a day that's your content day, and then posting it and scheduling it out so then you don't have to worry about it. It's already done. You already guys finished.
Now look at me. I'm not good at it. It's self-aware.
This is awesome. Our moderator and our panelists. Thank you so much for coming out, and I think this is something that we all needed. We have so many topics that we could touch on and explore. So this inspires us to maybe do this again. And so we're really excited. We want to just say a special thanks to everyone who came out, especially our moderator, our panelists. And I also want to give a special thanks to the Leadership Development Committee. So can my committee members just take a brief stand? Thank you so much for all the work that you do, the time that you put in, and all the assistance that you have helped in terms of helping this program come off successfully. We also want to thank Madam Basilis for entrusting us, Joy and myself, as being chair and co-chair of this committee. It means a lot to us. We thank you for your confidence. So we're not going to hold you long. We're done, and thank you again. We just want to give a few gifts of appreciation, and also know, don't forget to look at your QR code, and we still have some
refreshments in the fellowship hall. I'm gonna turn this over to Jill.
Thank you, Danielle. Well, as we mentioned, we want to make sure that we congratulate and welcome, I'm sorry, not welcome, but congratulate and thank you all of the individuals that are in front of us today. And with that, we have a small token of appreciation. We cannot go without saying thank you. And this is a small token of appreciation, but we want to first start by saying thank you for this place. Because, you know, it's always a challenge whenever we have any type of venue, where are we going to host? What's going on? And so to Pastor Lena, come on in. As the lady mentioned, you know, to have it in the community says a lot. And you often don't see it. And so thank you. This is a wonderful place. The spirit filled, it's warm, and we really thank you. So this is our appreciation. We have it for the church, and this is for you. Next to our moderator, Karen. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you.
That was second.
Tamiko.
Thank you.
Just keep on giving. Just keep on giving. I love it. Starla. Mariah. Last but not least, Kristen. And then I do have a special gift. It's over here. I'm sorry I didn't bring it on stage. Yes. And this is for someone who is on the Leadership Development Committee, but she's someone that we often will, sometimes we don't even have to say what we need, but she comes up with, well, I have all the volunteers for you. Well, I have this taken care of. She's already thought about things that we haven't even thought about. And so that's the true meaning of sisterhood. So we'd like to present a special gift to Davina. Thank you so much for always what I call being consistent and follow through and the accountability piece. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out. I hope you all will take away pearls of wisdom. When you scan the QR code, there are takeaways in terms of journaling, options for you to really prompt you to think about how to start the process. So with that, thank you. Have a great afternoon and have some treats and snacks in the fellowship hall. Thank you.